Well, good morning. It's Cowboy Jim up here in Fort McMurray. Try to get myself positioned. Oh my, how that can happen to me so easily. And uh, today I just got home from my night shift, and in a gracious sort of manner. One of our larger pieces of equipment is down, and so we kind of had to join two crews together at work, and so we timeshare. And so I actually have tonight off, and I thought I'd kind of like the money, but on the other side of the coin, so too would others who maybe have bills to pay and children to feed and stuff like that. And so I thought, okay, them's the breaks, and we will make the best of it. And tomorrow is the 21st of October, and that is my birthday. And I will be 74 years old, and or young, depending on how you look at it. I feel young. I feel as powerful as I did when I was 47, and and delusional, I suppose. But anyway, so it's my birthday, and I tomorrow, and I wanted to make a list of the videos I would like to do. And so I made a small list, and the one that is near and dear to my heart is about my mother. You have heard me mention many times about how great a mother I had. It's been an honor for me to have gotten to know the lady who birthed me, and to understand her as much as possible. I was I am privileged and honored to have three sisters, and but my mom. She and I, we had a kind of a special relationship, and nowadays we talk a mama's boy and stuff like that. There was none of that. Oh, the word is mollycoddling, and it's an old word, but there was none of that nonsense about a mother who pampered her children. My mom did not pamper us. Well, neither did my dad. There was no pampering going on, okay? And that's just the way it was. And but I was thinking of her, and the number of times that I've mentioned to you about my mom, and so I remembered the night of her passing, and she was in the hospital in Red Deer, and she was getting ready to die, and she she never even thought of herself at all. Um, it was along, I think, 2 or 3 in the morning, and I did not want to watch my mom pass. I didn't. I don't find great joy in in losing a friend for a short time. Eventually, I'll get to that place, and I know where my mom is. She's in heaven, and I will get to see her again. And I remember all the life's lessons that she gave me. Oh my. If I were having trouble with a horse, I would either lead or ride that horse up to the front of the hair salon, and and people really liked me somehow. I'm not sure why. And even as a kid, only two that I was aware of loved me in my, say, age 5, and that was God and my mom. And if I were having trouble with a horse, I would sit on the horse out front, or I would, if I had gotten off the horse prematurely, I'd be holding on to it, leading it. And Mom would come out of the hairdressing shop and she would say, having trouble with the horse? And I said, yeah. And she would say, here, let me take it for a bit. And she would leave her customers sitting in there at various stages of disrepair and or repair in terms of their hair, and she would climb on that horse. But she wore a white uniform, okay, and she was kind of built like Dolly Parton, quite a bit like Dolly Parton actually, and 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 she would hike her uniform up where it should not ever have been hiked up, and she would climb in the saddle and she would give that horse a tutorial. And I mean, when she was done, that horse was there was only one word written across its forehead, two really, or three: I will be submissive. And she just, oh, she had a hand with horses, and she had a heart that was so big. And I too have a heart that's similar. I don't believe that mine could ever be as large as hers, and because to me it's just not possible. And and she sent me to judo, and my dad was right in there too, and hockey. And uh, when I was 14 or 15, the neighbors, like the adults in the community, they referred to me as Mahavillage, and I always thought it was kind of a compliment until later I realized Frank Mahavillage was a puck hog. Well, so was I. I didn't bother passing, eh? I mean, I was a team player, but I was the only member on that team that was going to get to score. Okay, it just simple. Gretzky, I admired him because he always passed the puck and let other people score. He was a gracious man. But not me. And then one day, my dad said, no matter how good you get to be playing hockey, there's always going to be someone who is better. And I thought, I don't like that. If I can't be the best at the very best at what I do, I'm not so interested in it. And so, being a non-team player, I went to judo because it was just you and one other guy, or well, just guys. There were a lot of ladies, but a guy wouldn't be fighting a lady. I mean, dear Lord, that was never allowed, and which is a good thing. I mean, nowadays it's so stupid. You have people who believe they have a sex change thing in order, and so a 6'6" guy can compete with a 5'10" lady at swimming. And is that fair? Well, it's stupid. It's not fair. Anyways, so my mom. Uh, I'll tell you, one time she was burnt terribly in a grease fire. And I mean, when I say she was built like Dolly Parton, she was. And the grease splashed out and it was on fire, and it burnt her bra right onto her breast. And they extricated the bra and all that. And I watched my mom suffer but not complain. Suffer in absolute abject agony, not a word of complaint. She just wouldn't. And And I watched her for so many years, and she earned my respect, and I gave it, and she earned my love, and I had already given it to her, and but I gave more. And I remember the night that she was passing, and this may be a short video, but that's okay. And but this is a true Mother's Day accolade. And I cannot help but think of Mom when I consider that it's my birthday tomorrow, because she played such a strong role in my life. And so I was in the hospital. It was, I don't know what time it was, 2, 3. My sisters will probably correct me. And we were all there. And because she was going from earth to heaven. And there wasn't a question at all. I have to tell you, my little sister, not the youngest, but she was the youngest at the time, and a wonderful old lady whose name was Mrs. Ansley, and Mum. They were headed from Wasaga Beach in Ontario, and they were driving to Alberta, and somewhere in Manitoba or Saskatchewan, somewhere, they took a motel room for the night, and they were all kind of going to sleep. And Mrs. Ansley did a very interesting thing. It's kind of like a death breath, and she made this large noise, and she died. It was very simple, and it was such a large noise that my mom and my little kid sister, I won't say her name. Okay, Sheila, and they came right awake, and they checked Mrs. Ansley for a pulse, and there was none, because Mrs. Ansley had died. And so they were praying, and Mom was a proactive person. Like she taught me to be the way I am, and I'm kind of like that myself. And so it was her intent to pray and ask God to bring the lady back to life. Well, the odds of that happening pretty slim, but with God, you never know. And so my little sister was praying away, and I hope I get this story right, because it's such a good one. And Mom, she is looking at Mrs. Ansley. I mean, that lady was she was old, and Mom hit her in the chest. She was led of God to just drift that old lady right in the chest, and she did. And it started the lady's heart, and she revived, and she continued to live on. They left the next day they just continued on the trip. That was my mom. She was just something else. So the night she passed, 3 sisters, myself, we were all in the hospital room and so on, and I didn't want to watch my mom die, and it was minus 28 out, but I'd left the ranch southwest of Calgary and driven up to be there, and so I threw my sleeping bag in the back seat, and I told Mom, I said, I'm tired, and because I worked for a living, and it was late, and she said, it's okay. I said, I'm inclined to go to the truck and catch a few hours sleep and be, not that chilly, good warm sleeping bag. And my mom said, let me just read you what I wrote just for the fun of it. My mother said, as she was dying, there are those who will want to kill you. She said, not a problem. Oh, that woman, what a woman. She said, you can handle anyone, anything. It was minus 28. I climbed in the truck, the big Dodge, and into my sleeping bag. and she died. I didn't have to watch it. I slept. She was my mother. She believed in me. She said, "You can handle anything." I'll tell you another short story. I was running my big Ford truck with 40-inch Monster Mutter tires and a 6-inch lift kit, and we had just decided to pull my boys out of the public school and take them to a Christian school. So we were headed out. It was raining. We were headed out to that Christian school to talk to the principal, and we come over a little crest in the road, and there was a white-tailed deer, doe, right in the way, and I just gently put my foot on the brake just to slow her down a bit, but those big tires were so gigantic, and well, didn't we start doing 360s on that wet pavement, headed towards that deer, and that deer, must have been a novel idea watching the big Ford come down the road doing donuts and on the highway at about 60 miles an hour was when we crested the hill. That's when I put the foot into the brake a bit too hard, and she started to slide. My mom, it was a stretch to get Mom up there into that big truck, and so she didn't sit in the back seat. My wonderful wife of the day, she did, and my mom just sat there, and she said, "You can do this, Jim. You just be in control. God will help you." All the time we're doing donuts on the highway and coming down to a very smallish bridge. This is west of Didsbury, and that was my mom. "No problem. You can do this. You can do this. You can do this." And I've been privileged and honored to have had a mom who chose to believe in me. And she did. And she believed in my 3 sisters, and she did. But the joy of knowing that one day I again will see her, and I will. My left arm's resting on my Bible, and I believe it. I believe Scripture, and I believe I will one day see my mom again, and that will be for eternity. So I wish you had a mom like mine, and you would understand why I turned out as well as I have. Hey, I've been problematic. Let me tell you. Okay, bit too rugged, bit too rough, and so on like that. And but if you did not have the privilege and the honor of having a mom and or a dad who loved you and who you have fond memories of, you can make fond memories for your own children by how you behave. And Mom, when we would go home at after school or something like that, you never knew who would have moved in. Mom would just bring people in off the street. If she heard that someone were in dire straits, she'd just go pick them up and say, "Come live with us for a while." And I mean, they would. We had lots of people who just, Mom just, that's how she was. She just showed her love of God through her daily actions. So if you never had a mom like that, then you try to remember to be a mom like that to your children or to other children who are wounded and hurt. Just have a big caring heart. Okay, summation. You're going to live till you die, and only you can determine where you spend eternity. The only way that I've found in Scripture, and I've studied it a long time, uh, is this: to say, God, forgive me. I accept that Jesus Christ is your Son, that He suffered, bled, and died on the cross for my sins. I'm truly sorry for having lived the way I have. Help me to be what you want me to be. Your name will be written in the Lamb's Book of Life, and it won't get removed. And God will forgive you of anything you've ever done. And I just thank you for watching my video stuff and YouTube videos and all that. And I count it an honor. Um, I just did a 12-hour shift, night shift. They're kind of not nice, eh? And but thank God I have tonight off. Um, I have fond memories of my mom. She was such a true Christian lady. True, true, true. So God bless you, and you all have a good day. And I may do one more, but I'm not sure. Um, Pretty tough act to follow. Any video that has to do with my mom. Pretty tough. God bless you, and you all have a good day. And I'll turn Fox News on and try to get a lowdown on how Israel's doing and that sort of stuff. And don't you worry about the future. You take care of the present by accepting Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, and the future will be taken care of by God, and it'll take care of itself. God bless. Thank you.